Have you ever felt like your workday, it starts before you even do, and then it just never truly ends?
hmm
Like you're constantly juggling digital pings, notifications, even after you've technically clocked out.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there, right?
Exactly. That pervasive feeling that work is just always on, relentlessly stretching into your personal life. So today we're diving deep into this phenomenon, often called the infinite workday.
Yeah, and it's a huge challenge, fueled by our digital tools, blurring those lines between professional and personal. It really affects just about everyone.
hmm
And look, this isn't just about feeling busy. It's actually a critical issue for modern workers, for organizations too. It has real implications for our well-being, our productivity.
Right.
We're at this fascinating point, really, where AI is emerging, and it could either, accelerate this chaos,
Right.
or, if we're smart about it, potentially offer a powerful solution. So our deep dive today, it's going to draw on some really insightful sources. We've got global usage data from, well, millions of Microsoft 365 users, in-depth analyses of work-life dynamics, and we'll look at global policy shifts too, like the right to disconnect.
Okay, so the mission is to equip you, our listener, with actionable insights, help you navigate this new landscape more effectively.
Absolutely. So maybe let's start by looking at the hard data, because the numbers, they really paint a vivid picture of this infinite workday.
Let's do it. Take us through that typical day. You mentioned this global telemetry data.
Yeah, exactly. It's aggregated usage info from millions using Microsoft 365 apps. And you might just recognize some of these patterns in your own life, frankly.
I'm bracing myself.
Well, the day, for many, it starts surprisingly early. Picture this. A striking 40%, 0% of Microsoft 365 users are already online by 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Wow.
Yep, sifting through overflowing inboxes. So instead of waking up, maybe setting their own agenda, they're immediately bombarded with other people's demands.
That's a tough way to start. That's a significant psychological toll, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Kicking off the day in a totally reactive state.
It certainly is. And the sheer volume doesn't help. I mean, the average worker gets 117 emails daily.
117.
Daily. And most of them, they're skimmed in under 60 seconds. What's also interesting, kind of a shift, is we're seeing mass emails, 20 plus recipients. They're actually up 7% in the past year, while the one-on-one threads, they're down 5%.
So it's just more noise, less direct conversation.
Pretty much. Your inbox, often the front door to your workday, just too frequently opens to this unprioritized chaos. And each ping, right, email, message, whatever, it sets this frenetic tempo for the whole day.
And I bet it only intensifies from there.
Oh, it does. By 8 a.m., Microsoft Teams messages often overtake email. They become the dominant channel, shifting the day into even higher gear.
How many messages are we talking?
Get this, the average worker receives a staggering 153 Teams messages per weekday.
Whoa, 153.
Per weekday. And this isn't a small bump either. Messages per person are up 6% year over year, globally. So it's not just a feeling you have, it's a measurable surge.
Okay, so email chaos bright and early, then a flood of Teams messages. This creates what you called a midday mirage of focus.
Exactly. Our most valuable hours, those times when we often experience natural productivity spikes, like 9 to 11 a.m., maybe 1 to 3 p.m.
Yeah, the prime time.
Right. They're actually dominated by meetings. Around
Right.
50%, half of all meetings fall into those slots.
Leaving very little room for actual deep, focused work.
Precisely. And it's not just the scheduled meetings fracturing our attention. Even when your calendar shows a nice break after lunch, the reality is different. Employees are interrupted every 2 minutes, on average.
Every 2 minutes. By what?
By a meeting starting, an email alert, a chat notification, you name it.
That just sounds exhausting. Constant digital noise.
It is, and the data backs that feeling up. Almost half of all employees, 48%, and even more leaders, 52%, report their work feels chaotic and fragmented. It's widespread, this feeling of being overwhelmed.
I believe it.
Indeed. And the complexity of just coordinating everything has spiraled. Consider this, 57% of meetings are actually ad hoc calls. No calendar invite.
Just a random call popping up.
Yep. And 1 in 10 scheduled meetings are booked last minute. Plus, nearly a third of all meetings now span multiple time zones. That's up 35% since just 2021. Adds another layer of complexity, right?
Definitely. Juggling time zones is always tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. This chaos isn't just 9 to 5, is it?
Not at all. The workday is stretching well into the evening, bleeding into weekends, creating what some researchers call a triple peak day.
Triple peak, like morning, afternoon, and late night.
You got it. Meetings after 8 p.m., they're up 16% year over year, often driven by global teams, flexible schedules. And the average employee sends or receives more than 50 messages outside core business hours.
50 messages after hours.
Oh, wow. And that pressure, it truly spills into the weekend. The data shows this noticeable bump in weekend email use. Nearly 20% of employees check email before noon on Saturday and Sunday.
So they're basically waking up to work, even on their days off.
Seems like it. And over 5% are back in their email on Sunday evenings. You know, the Sunday scaries.
Oh, yeah.
They are very real and apparently measurable. What's particularly telling, though, is that during weekends, usage of Word, Excel, PowerPoint actually overtakes Teams messages.
Suggesting people are using that time for the focused work they couldn't get done during the week.
That's the strong implication. Catch-up time, focus time. It underlines the problem. 1 in 3 employees now say the sheer pace of work makes it impossible to keep up during the normal week.
Okay, so that's the big picture, the macro view. What does it mean for you personally, listening right now? We've painted this picture of widespread digital demands, constant pings. How does that translate to your own cognitive load, especially if you're juggling multiple roles, like, say, being a parent?
Well, this leads us to what some researchers call reshape. It's German.
Scattered task lists.
Exactly. It's that mental burden, right? Of half-remembered commitments scattered across different apps, maybe Post-it notes, maybe just floating around in your head.
I know that feeling.
Precisely. And this constant fragmentation, it impacts our psychological well-being really deeply. Whether you prefer a strict work-life balance model, trying to keep clear boundaries, time blocks.
Right, the compartmentalizer.
Yeah. Or you lean towards a work-life integration model where tasks flow more flexibly. The core problem of scattered tasks, it remains.
How so?
Well, for the balancers, without a good system, you face double bookings, guilt when areas collide. For the integrators, it's that constant context switching, the danger of being always on.
And the data shows this isn't just theoretical.
Not at all. There is a German study, 47% of knowledge workers there admitted reading work content during family time, and 1 in 5 said they do private tasks between meetings.
Wow. That's incredibly relatable, isn't it? It's not just about feeling busy. It sounds like there's a profound psychological impact, almost like a constant low-level hum of anxiety.
That's a good way to put it. The psyche suffers. Constant alarms, notifications, they boost cortisol levels, they can worsen sleep quality, increase anxiety. This fragmented existence, it leads to cognitive overload. We could call it the plate spinner effect, trying to keep everything going mentally.
Yeah.
Those open mental loops like, was that ping a work email, a school message, a bill reminder? They consume valuable bandwidth you need for problem solving, for deep thought.
And chronically, that leads to burnout.
It can, yeah. Characterized by exhaustion, cynicism, decreased performance, both at home and at work. It's serious stuff.
Okay, that sounds like a cycle we definitely all want to break. So what does this all mean? I mean, how can we fight back against this chaos, reclaim our focus, our mental space?
Well, the good news is there are clever strategies, both personal habits and tech solutions that can help.
Let's hear them.
Okay, one key approach is priority first planning, and time blocking.
So deciding what's most important first.
Exactly. Choose maybe your top 3 tasks for the week. Then, crucially, reserve specific calendar blocks for them. And this is key. Treat those blocks like non-negotiable meetings. Protect that time.
I like that. Treat it like a real meeting. And you mentioned tech solutions.
Yes, and a really powerful strategy, often overlooked, is using just one calendar for everything.
Everything, like work, personal, dentist, date night.
All of it. Whether it's a dental appointment, a sprint retro, date night, school pickup, having all your commitments in a single view prevents those accidental double bookings.
Yeah.
And it allows for smoother transitions between your different roles or life areas.
That makes sense. Left mental juggling.
Totally. And studies actually show that shared calendars, or at least a single view, reduce conflicts and significantly increase your sense of time control. There are practical tools for this, like an app called Outlook Calendar Sync. It's a desktop app for Windows, performs a one-way sync from your work Outlook calendar to your personal iCloud or Google Calendar.
One-way sync, so work stuff goes to personal, but not the other way around.
Exactly. And you can choose what details to share, maybe just the title and location, or just busy.
Yeah.
So it respects company IT policies and your privacy.
That's such a simple yet powerful idea. I know people who swear by this kind of thing. We heard from some users, right? Like David Wilson, a team leader.
Yeah, he found syncing important meetings with his wife's personal calendar made their evening and weekend planning much smoother. He saw it as reducing friction, not adding another task.
Nice. And Helga Prince, a product manager.
She really appreciated the one-way sync specifically because it meant she didn't have to deal with potential bidirectional sync issues, messing up her primary work calendar.
Got it. Keeps things clean.
Right. And even Carlos Garcia, a finance analyst, uses the free version just to sync today and tomorrow with his family calendar so everyone knows roughly when he's likely to be home. It's really effective at reducing that mental load.
Okay, so one calendar is a big one. What else?
Beyond the calendar, another essential strategy is the mind sweep.
Mind sweep. Sounds intriguing.
It's pretty straightforward. It involves regularly dumping all your open thoughts, tasks, ideas, everything rattling around in your head into a single, reliable task app.
Ah, like a brain dump to free up mental RAM, basically.
Precisely. And it's equally important to have only one central, ideally platform-agnostic inbox for these tasks. To avoid that frustrating, was that reminder in Notes or WhatsApp, or did I email it to myself?
Problem. We've all been there. Any app example?
Apps like, say, TickTick are excellent examples.
Yeah.
Tools that make it easy to capture stuff quickly from anywhere.
Right. So single calendar, single task inbox, regular mind sweeps. What about boundaries?
Absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
But tailored to your personal model.
If you're more of a balancer?
The compartmentalizer.
Right. Maybe implement strict evening rituals. Mute work apps after 6 p.m. Fiercely protect weekends if you're more of an integrator.
Yeah, it's maybe more about using focus modes for dedicated deep work periods, allowing short, intentional private breaks during the day, and setting really clear expectations with both colleagues and family about availability.
Okay. And we can't forget leveraging technology and AI here, right? Not just as the source of the problem, but maybe as part of the solution.
Definitely. Tools for voice capture, smart planning assistants, AI for task prioritization, these can genuinely save clicks and mental energy. Integrators especially might benefit from AI helping manage those microtasks that pop up, helping maintain a fluid yet structured workflow without constant manual effort.
Okay, these personal strategies are great, but it's not just about personal hacks, is it? Sometimes the system itself needs to change.
That's a very important point.
Which brings us to this broader global response, the right to disconnect. I hear this phrase more and more. It's even being framed as a proposed human right.
It is, and the core idea is actually quite simple. It's the ability for people not to engage in work-related electronic communications, emails, messages, calls during their non-work hours.
So it directly tackles that blurring of boundaries caused by digital tools.
Exactly. It acknowledges that being constantly reachable makes it harder for employees to truly switch off and recover. France, for instance, has really been a pioneer here.
Right, you mentioned France earlier.
Yeah, its origins trace back even to French Supreme Court decisions in 2001 and 2004. They established that employees aren't obligated to work from home or even be reachable outside working hours unless specifically agreed.
Okay, so foundations were laid early, and then there was a formal law.
Yes, the El Khomri Law came into force January 1st, 2017. It formally introduced the droit à la déconnexion, the right to disconnect, into the French Labor Code.
And what does it actually require companies to do?
For companies with over 50 employees, it mandates negotiations between management and staff reps on regulating digital tool use. If they can't reach an agreement, the company has to draw up a charter outlining policies and actions. And it requires training and awareness raising.
So it forces the conversation.
It does. And this law was a direct response to reports highlighting the impact of digital tech, specifically identifying cognitive and emotional overload as psychosocial risks. They had studies showing 37% of workers using professional tools outside hours and 62% wanting more control.
That's a strong legislative stance.
Yeah.
What about Germany? You mentioned some corporate initiatives there.
Absolutely. Germany, while it doesn't have a single specific federal law like France, has a history of corporate leadership on this. Volkswagen, way back in 2011, implemented a policy to stop its email servers sending emails to employee mobile phones between 6 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Wow, that early.
Yeah. And Daimler in 2014 introduced mail on holiday software that automatically deleted incoming emails for employees on vacation. The idea was to encourage a true break.
Auto-delete. That's bold.
It is. And even the German Employment Ministry back in 2013 banned its managers from contacting staff after hours explicitly to protect mental health. So lots of proactive moves, even without a specific law compelling them initially.
It's clear this isn't just a European thing, though. It seems to be becoming a global trend, even if the approaches vary.
Indeed. We're seeing similar principles emerge worldwide. In Canada, specifically Ontario, they passed Bill 27 in 2021. It requires employers with over 25 employees to have a written policy defining expectations around disconnecting.
So setting clear expectations.
Exactly. And just recently, Australia's Fair Work legislation amendment in 2024 empowers employees to ignore unreasonable work-related communications outside their hours. It even includes a dispute resolution mechanism via their Fair Work Commission if issues arise.
Okay, so different mechanisms, negotiation, policy requirements, employee rights to ignore. But the underlying principle is spreading.
It really is. From Italy and Slovakia to the Philippines and Slovenia, countries are grappling with this. It shows a growing recognition that disconnecting isn't just a nice to have. It's becoming seen as fundamental to worker well-being in the digital age.
Which raises that bigger question you touched on. How does this tie into our fundamental human rights?
That's a crucial connection to make, because this isn't just about company policy or labor law in isolation. Arguably, it connects to basic human dignity.
How so?
Well, the right to disconnect shares really strong similarities with, say, Article 24 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Which covers?
The right to rest and leisure. That article explicitly includes reasonable limitations on working hours and periodic holidays with pay. The right to disconnect essentially updates this principle for our current technological reality, addressing the new ways work can intrude on that necessary personal time.
So it's like bringing a 20th century right into the 21st century.
In a way, yes. And it's worth noting the International Labor Organization, the ILO, also endorses the need for workers to disconnect to avoid that blurring of work-life lines, reinforces its importance on a global scale.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you, the listener, and the future of work? We have these personal strategies, and we have these vital policy shifts, like the right to disconnect, providing a framework. But real transformation also needs a shift within organizations, right?
Right.
And this is where that frontier firm mindset comes back in. Leveraging tech like AI, not just to speed up the old ways, but to fundamentally redesign the rhythm of work itself.
Exactly. AI isn't just about accelerating a potentially broken system. It's a chance, a real opportunity to reimagine how we work and, crucially, what truly drives impact.
Okay, refresh our memory on that frontier firm mindset. You mentioned 3 places to start.
Right. The first one is follow the 80-20 rule. In today's world with flat budgets, shrinking attention spans, activity is not the same as progress.
Busy doesn't equal effective.
Precisely. So frontier firms focus intensely on the 20% of work that actually delivers 80% of the outcomes. And they use AI strategically to streamline or automate the low-value tasks in status meetings, routine reports, administrative churn.
Freeing up human capacity for...
It's for deep work, for fast decisions, for focused execution on what really matters.
Makes sense. What's the second point?
Second is redesign for the work chart. This means shifting away from rigid, traditional org charts with static functions.
The boxes and lines.
Yeah, towards more agile, outcome-driven work charts. Here, lean teams form dynamically around a specific goal or project, and they use AI to fill skill gaps, access information quickly, and just move faster.
Can you give an example?
Sure, think about a company like Supergood, which is an AI-first agency. They use a platform that's powered by decades of advertising strategy data. This allows their employees to access strategic insights instantly without necessarily needing to loop in a senior strategist on every single brief. It removes friction, increases agility.
Got it. Using AI to augment the team's capabilities. And the third point.
The third is become an agent boss. This refers to a new generation of professionals who aren't just working more, they're working smarter by leveraging human agent teams.
Human agent teams. Using AI assistants.
Exactly. Take Alex Farash. He's a researcher at Microsoft. He uses a trio of AI agents. One collects new relevant research daily, another runs statistical analysis on data sets, and a third helps draft initial briefs based on the findings.
So the AI handles the legwork.
A lot of it, yeah. Which allows him to focus on the higher level stuff, generating fast, high-quality insights, synthesizing information, benefiting his entire team. He's not bogged down in the manual, time-consuming parts of the process.
That's a powerful shift in how work gets done.
It really is. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, the question isn't really whether work will change. I mean, it clearly is changing. The question is whether we will change with it and how we choose to shape that change.
Right.
The future isn't just about automating the drudgery we don't like. It's about what we consciously choose to fundamentally reimagine and redesign about how we work together.
Okay, so this deep dive has really shown us the relentless nature of this infinite workday, hasn't it? And the profound personal toll it can take, but also that there's a dual approach to tackling it.
Hmm.
We've got those personal strategies using that single calendar, doing regular mind sweeps, setting boundaries that work for you. And then there are these crucial global policy changes gaining momentum, like the right to disconnect.
Absolutely. It's that combination of personal agency and systemic change that holds the most promise.
So as you, our listener, reflect on all this, maybe consider this for your own week ahead, how could you apply just one of these ideas, maybe the agent boss mindset, even in a small way, or the 80-20 rule to just one area of your work?
Or perhaps take 5 minutes to look up the right to disconnect policies, or even just the discussions happening in your own region or industry. How can you be part of redesigning not just your own workday, but maybe contributing to a healthier rhythm of work overall? Something to think about.